Hey y'all, welcome to my channel. Today we are going to talk about the pros and cons to teaching in Abu Dhabi. Now, I've been living in Abu Dhabi for 2 years. I moved here from Dallas, Texas, Plano to be exact. That's where I moved, but I'm from Oak Cliff. So if you are considering moving to Abu Dhabi, you might want to watch this video first. So I made some notes. So y'all gonna see me looking down a bit because I want to make sure I'm giving y'all everything that I can possibly think of. First, we're going to start off with the pros. One of the first pros is the price of living. In this country, I feel like the salary is pretty good as opposed to like the general price of living. Like for gas, every week I pay about $20. For my groceries, I pay about $60, sometimes $70 if I'm putting some salmon in my little grocery cart. You know, salmon is expensive no matter where you go. If you're going to try to eat seafood every day, you're going to be spending some seafood money. So yeah, that's expensive, but like everyday things is super cheap. Nice. Okay, I'm over exaggerating. It's not super cheap, but it's much cheaper than the US. So yeah, those type of things make sense. If you're American, you're gonna be probably making from 13,000 dirham to maybe 18,000 on a good end. So that's pretty good. That's like 3,000 to 4,000 something, you know? So that's a good salary, and you don't have any bills, so you're able to pay your small bills and save the rest, honestly. Another thing I would say is the people here. Oh my gosh, I had no idea what type of people that I was going to encounter in this country, and I'm talking about locals. Their locals are called Emiratis. Emiratis, okay? It's an Arab culture. They are all Muslim, and they do take that very serious. Like I hear a prayer call. I don't know how many times, but I know it's more than 2 times. No problem with it whatsoever. Also in the schools, the kids are praying as well. There is a designated time for it. So it is very serious. So if you do plan to move to this country, even if you're not Muslim, that's not a problem. But it just always make sure you're being respectful to their culture, to their religion, to them as people, because they are genuinely very nice people. Like I'm telling you, these people give you the shirt off their back. Anytime that you have questions about their culture, they're not offended. They're willing to answer your questions. So overall, I would say the people here are very nice, very inviting. And for the most part, everybody do speak English. And that's something that I don't know if that really mattered to me. But now that I'm here, I'm like, you know what? It is kind of good to have people that understand what you're saying. Now, some of it is broken English, not in the schools per se, but sometimes it is broken English. So you need to simplify some of the things that you're saying, you know? So yeah. Another thing is the quality of life. Like overall living here is amazing. Like in the US, I know that you can get all of these things if you have a certain amount of money. I feel like in this country, you don't need to be rich to have a quality life, and that's the difference. So I'm able to have a cleaner. I pay about $20 to $30, but I do give a tip, so sometimes it's a little bit more than that. And I try to use this cleaner once a month. I would also say when I go get my nails and toes done, the customer service is amazing. And again, I'm not spending an arm and a leg. I think I spend about, it gotta be $50 for both toes and nails. So, and then, you know, just safety here is amazing. Like I get up all the time and go for a run at 5 a.m. in the morning. And to me, that really does heighten the quality of your life because you don't really have to worry about so much. Like, did I lock my car door? Or is my car gonna be, my window to my car gonna be broken? Like you don't have to worry about those things. It's super safe. We have security in our apartment building. They really don't have to do much because it's a safe country. And I think the reason this country is so safe is because they are very serious about their laws. And before all of us move here, all of us expats move here, we kind of are already familiar with what the expectation is in this country. So I would say that that's super nice. And y'all, one time somebody bumped my car. I called the police. I showed them a picture of the license plate. They had that figured out in 24 hours. I didn't have to call insurance myself. The police handled every single thing that I could possibly need in that moment. So like to me, those are like, I know these sound like very small things, but these small things really do matter, and they really do enhance the quality of your life because it takes away worrying about certain things, you know? Another thing, they don't look at you by, this is still goes with the quality of life, by the way. They don't look at you based on your color. They look at you based on your citizenship. So you're American first. You're not black first. I have never been racially profiled. And I feel like if there is any type of racism in this country, I can assure you it is definitely coming from somebody that's not from this country. It's not any of the people that live here, because they don't even see, like, it's Black Emiratis. They have a diverse group of people, the Emiratis do. And they don't look at each other by color. They're like, if you're Emirati, you're Emirati. Like, we're not looking, you still my brother. And I know in America, we don't necessarily look at it like that. We look at it like, you black, you white, you Mexican, you this, you that. And that kind of puts us in these certain groups and pockets, right? But in this country, it's not like that. They don't look at me like, oh, you black, so you go over there. You black, so I know you steal. They're not thinking it. They're not doing any of that. They look at me based on what country I'm from. That's the first question they ask me. They don't say, oh, sister, are you African? No, they go, oh, sister, where are you from? And then I say, American. Oh, America. Very nice. That's what they care about in this country. Oh, yeah, let's talk about the next one. The next pro is the teacher contract. The teacher contract is pretty good, y'all. So I get housing. Some schools give housing, some schools don't, but my school does give housing. I get flight allowance once a year. So for July, I get flight allowance. I get a round trip. The visa is sponsored by my job. Healthcare insurance is free. And I feel like my salary is fair. I have a decent salary. I can't give you my salary on this page, but I have a decent salary. Like, I don't feel like I'm being cheated by no means. Another pro, the proximity to other countries. Okay, so let me give y'all a few. I wrote them down, so I hope this helps. From the UK, I'm 7 hours away, and a flight to the UK is about $600. To South Africa, I'm 8 hours away, and the flight to South Africa is around $528. Now, these are prices I looked up last night. Of course, this varies, but the distance does not. To Thailand is 6 hours, and it's about $400. To Japan is 9 hours, and it's $760. So that just gives you a good idea of how far are the distance that different countries are to this place. So that makes it really good, because if you don't know, the U.S. is pretty far from everywhere. We're close to South America, Mexico, Caribbean, stuff like that, Canada, but we're not close to like Europe and the rest of the world, you know? Australia is just like us too. But anyways, that's all my pros. Let me give you the cons now. Okay, here's the cons. One of the cons is you really don't always know what your day is gonna look like at school. So maybe last week you had a schedule and you was told to follow that schedule, and you end up liking the schedule. You have set your classroom up based on that schedule. Here's the thing, you cannot get too comfortable with that, because things here change all the time. So you have to always be ready to pivot, because if you internalize all of the changes that are made, I don't think you're gonna make it. You're not gonna have a happy experience. So I would say be ready to pivot, because things change like this. And although they might not make a lot of sense to you, you cannot sit there and try to figure it out, because more than likely it's gonna change. You know, things change all the time, and they change quick. And since things change quick, you get very, very good at adjusting. And I think that's a good skill set to have, to be quite honest. That's how I try to look at it. Like, okay, maybe I'm not that happy that this changed, but at least I'm learning a new skill, because I'm one of those people, I don't like a lot of change, especially not when it comes to routines. Okay, the next one is you do a lot of learning on your own, honestly. I feel like we don't have a lot of like trainings. I feel like I had way more trainings in the US, and pretty intense trainings, you know, about classroom management, how to work the testing system, how they want us to implement certain things. I don't feel like that's a thing here. Yes, we do have some trainings, but it's not like how we have them back in the States. So a lot of things you have to learn on your own, or you go to the veteran teachers that's been in this country a while, and you kind of get the information from them. That's what I normally do. I like to learn from the veteran teachers. Like, if you have somebody at your school that's been there 10 years, 9 times out of 10, they know the system, and they know exactly how they want things done for this country. Another con. Okay, this is not really a con it's a con for me. There's not really any celebrations at the school. Like at home, you celebrate Valentine's Day, Christmas, some birthdays. I just really enjoy those celebrations in the school. Pep rallies, football games, stuff like that. We don't really have that. We don't have like school teams. We don't have celebrations. I think the only celebration that we have in the school for the most part is National Day, which is December 2nd. So that was nice. I did get a chance to experience that, but I do miss all of the celebrations. And the last come is the school calendar. Okay, this is how the school calendar is. Okay, you go to school in August, of course. Then September is no break. October, you have no break. November is no break. December, you have 3 weeks. And then January, nothing. February, nothing. March is Ramadan. But kids still come to school, but the hours are reduced. April, nothing. May, nothing. June, 1 week for Eid. July, here's the problem. Here's where the problem lies. This year, we get out of school July 17th, okay? That is pretty late in the summer. I don't know when I come back yet. I don't think it's gonna be a month. So I think I'm gonna get less than a month for summer break. So to me, that's one of the cons because flying back to America is not very cheap. And if I'm gonna go back to America, I wanna make sure that I am spending as much time as I can. And that way I can really get my money's worth and actually see the people that I wanna see, without having to rush back. But anyways, y'all, that's really all I have for today. If you guys wanna know anything else, please just let me know and then I'll make another video about it. But y'all, thank you so much for watching. I hope that this was helpful. Drop a like below and make sure you subscribe because I'll give y'all some more content.